I want to do a quick video to explain what you need to be doing in this work folder in preparation for work folder number 8. So this is work folder number 7, and your job in this work folder is basically to start on the projects that are due for work folder 8. So you will not need to submit anything for this work folder 7 other than I'm going to ask you to take a quiz affirming that you've watched this video. But you'll have all this time and then the time of work folder 8 to get the reports done that I'm going to talk to you about right now. So these reports need to be submitted at the due date for all of work folder 8. All right, so you have 2 reports I want you to start working on, and each are going to be worth 10 points. Report number 1 is going to talk to me about your note-taking skills. All right, so we've looked at the textbook for maybe the first 2 chapters together as a class, maybe even the first 3 chapters, but then I've sort of given it over to you and said to you concerning the rest of the book, the majority of the book, can you custom pick, if you will, can you select chapters that you think are going to be good for you to read? Because I don't know exactly what you're struggling with. I don't know where your skills are, your strengths are, but you do. And I think you do. If you honestly look at yourself, you might be able to say, well, this chapter is not going to help me maybe as much as the other chapter if I can't read them all. You know, which ones would I rather read? And I've let you work that way with the book. Now, I'm assuming that somewhere in that process, you've run across information that has talked to you about maybe how to take take notes. And because people have come up with different methods and they've actually like labeled the methods like Cornell note-taking system or whatever, you know. So if you haven't run across that in the book, now's the time during this work folder to research that a little bit. So, you know, I'm not asking you to just not use the book for this. I'm just going to let you go to the book if you haven't run across this material already. If you have run across it already, it's probably a good idea to go back and review. Well, what does the book say about note taking? And then what I want you to do is to maybe take some of those strategies that you think are going to be good for you. But then I also want you to develop your own system. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be 100% new. You know, it might be a revision or a tweaking or an expansion or a customization of something the book said. Or if you really think that that just doesn't work for you, then maybe you need to just come up with something completely new. Okay, so you might be in a situation where some of your professors are saying, "Oh, bring your laptops to class," and you know, sure, you can be taking notes while I'm lecturing or talking or whatnot. Well, on your laptop, you might have an audio capture app or tool or whatever, and so you might just be recording the professor as they lecture, and then you might be doing something with that recording later on, or you know, who knows? Who knows what you're doing? But see, I don't know if the book talks about recording lectures with your laptop. So if you're in a situation where you know that you're able to do that, that might be an instance where you just come up with a new way to take notes, right? The thing about recording, you know, your professor is, well, it really doesn't help you to discriminate the information. Remember what we kind of focused on at the beginning of the course, and that is, um, you know, you're going to get so much information coming at you. How do you know which part of that information you can just sort of grab and say, this I don't need to have in the forefront of my attention right now. I can just sort of just let it slide on by. But this part I do need to remember. This part I probably need to hang on to. So, you know, you find parts that you really know you have to know. You know that you need to know them. You have other parts that you suspect are going to be good to know. Those 2 parts need to make it into your notes. There's going to be a lot that just slides on by. It's redundant. It's a repetition. The teacher has already made the point, but is now giving example after example. if you got the point, you don't need to record all those examples. Those are just examples. See what I'm saying? So that doesn't make it into your notes. The note should always be a condensation, a condensing, if you will, a condensing of the word flow, the river of words and information that you might get from a lecture or from a teacher. So if you're just hitting record on your, device, how is that helping you deal with the river of words, right? So, but you might have a strategy. You might have something you're doing, right? So what I want you to do is I don't want you just to go and say, oh, the book says this works, therefore it works, and I'm going to do it. For some people, that might actually happen, but you need to be critical and you need to be an independent thinker, and you need to say, maybe, let me try some of it. If that works, I'll try a little bit more. If not, I'm going to come up with my own strategies, and I've just got to figure out a way that works for me. Okay, so that's what I want you to think about and start practicing. And then, the report on this is just going to be, you need to write a certain number of words. Just check the instructions in work folder 8. It's not a big report, but I would love at least 2 paragraphs. Check the word count. Include a general explanation, then include examples. Tell me why you think it's going to work, that sort of thing. Okay. And of course, use the first person pronoun. I want to hear I, me, my as you write this. This is a report about your experience. And, at the top, just tell me that it's about your note-taking strategies as a title. Make sure to include the word count at the bottom. And of course, proof it and check it out, because I don't want it to be filled with mistakes in terms of spelling or punctuation and things like that. So that's the first report. Now, the other thing I want you to start working on is very similar to this note-taking report. It's another report, but it's on your personal study skills. So again, use the same. It's kind of the same instructions. Go into your book, find the parts that talk about how you should structure your study time. Maybe you've read it already, because maybe you picked that chapter in one of the previous work folders. But anyway, I want you now to really kind of focus on that and say, what strategies really help me study well? Some of it might be from the book, but some of it might, again, just be from your own devising, your own design, your own understanding of yourself. And you need to say, I really can't listen to music, or I really can't be at the library. It sounds like that's great, but I know that, I've made a lot of friends, and I'm probably going to run across a friend in the library, and there goes 30 minutes, or I'm going to get distracted by their cafe. I'm going to buy myself a coffee, and then I'm spending money I shouldn't be spending, really, and there goes 20 minutes. And so maybe the library is not a good place for you. Well, it's my room. Well, I don't know about that. Maybe you need to think, right, about what really works for you. So experiment. Try to know yourself, and try to be willing to say, for me, I need this type of room, or I need this type of environment, or I need this type of setup. Okay. And for me, I want to hear about how long you can go. What helps you pay attention? What are your distractions, and how can you minimize those? And have you tried to minimize them? So, some people can go for study, just concentrate for 30, 40, 50, even an hour at a time. Others need a break every 15 minutes, or even a very small break every 10 minutes, just to get up and walk around. So, and what about the other distractions that are potentially with you, like your phone? What are you going to do about that? Is your phone with you when you study? Does it distract you? If not, well, then I think that's fine. But if it does, where are you going to put your phone while you study? Right? Things like that. That's what I want you to talk about in your report. And there's not necessarily a right answer or a wrong answer here, right? Because I'm trusting you to do what this class is designing you to do, and that's to be aware of the fact that college is really all about information literacy, your ability to handle information, to recognize what is important. Definitely need to know what you might need to know, what you don't need to know, and you let that information slide by, right? it's about learning how to handle all the information that's coming at you, right? So you have to figure out ways to do that, and you have to figure out what type of learner you are, and what makes you distracted, and what helps you stay focused and still at that desk or at that thing, that place you're at. Maybe you're, I don't know. That's what I want to know, right? But I think each one of you might have a different report because we're people. People are unique, and so by extension, I think in one sense, each one of you is a unique student with unique study needs and and note taking needs. So try to use this work folder and the next one just as a way to put a capstone on the class in terms of these are the very important things I need to do. I've tried to know myself. I've tried to learn a little bit about myself. I think these are the strategies that work best for me right now. Okay. Now, this report is also worth 10 points. So there's 20 points worth of work here. And one thing I need to say though is that you might be able to get these reports done rather quickly. Okay. That's fine. You can finish this up early if you want to, but you might also want to take all that time to maybe look back in the class and see if there's any assignments that you have yet to do. They're a little bit late, or you forgot, or you skipped over them, or whatever. If you have any work that you haven't turned in yet, get it done. Okay, everything that is for points in the class has to come in by the due date of work folder 8. So make sure you see where you are, check your grades, check your assignments, maybe go back into those work folders and review some things to just make sure that you're getting a good grade in the class. Hey, thank you so much for doing the work. Thank you for sticking at it and making time for this class. And I truly hope that it's been, beneficial. I truly hope so. So thanks for watching.